Okay, so we're back. Buddy left. He just, I've had several people stop today and check out the garden. They always do. Got the road behind me here, and everybody likes to stop and see what's going on. In any event, back to about where I was, is I planted potatoes in the tops of all these hills. And I also broadcast beans all over. My thought is that beans will produce nitrogen, help break this down. Potatoes are in there. I had some extras after planting 3 rows right there. So there is also one long row of beans all the way along here up to about this point. So here's the flax. This is all the area of flax. There's the wheat section. This is flax all the way up to here, all the way to here, all the way back down. I reserved this last section between here and this line all the way straight up for my last go at sweet corn. I'll plant that in a couple of weeks. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, this is the beans, again the hard beans all the way down through there. Right up here I planted cucumbers all in this area, and next to that I planted orange aglow watermelon. I think it's orange aglow watermelon. And oh, I forgot to say it down there too, I planted some honeydew melon. And then I put a few flowers up in here. I also put at about the corners of all the different areas, I put sunflowers. So the sunflowers should show off the corners of all the different areas as I planted them. I didn't do it everywhere because I ran out, but okay. I'm walking in the area right now that's reserved for the sweet corn in a couple weeks. And what we're looking at in front of us is the Three Sisters garden, all the way from my foot, this bark here, to the bucket, all the way down to about, I don't know if you can see the shovel, rake, and then all the way back to here. And then so every 5 feet is Indian corn. Let me see if I can find some that might be sticking up. Hasn't been covered up yet. Right here some. Here's some Indian corn. So what we're doing here is going to let this grow. Here's a bunch right there. What I did is I broadcasted in a straight line all the way around the perimeter, and then that way I could see where my edges were. I can always come back and prune, thin out what I don't need later. So I broadcast them around the perimeter, and see I put that shovel right there at the corner, and then the bucket indicates the other corner. Just for now, that way I didn't overplant stuff. Okay, so that goes right up to there, and then if you look, watch, I'll show you some. Right there's some corn, and there's another piece of corn, and then directly goes into sorghum. There's sorghum seed all over. So all of that's going to be Mennonite sorghum. Hopefully I can get some sort of mill to press it this year. I didn't get to last year, but I did get a lot of grain out of it. So in 2 weeks, approximately, I'm hoping that my grass is not too tall and snuffed everything out. But I hope my corn's, 4 to 6 inches tall. I'll come back and plant purple potted pole beans and whatever pole beans that I can find all throughout this area. And then I'm going to also plant all my winter squash all along this area. And I will probably also plant all of my corn, all of my secondary sweet corn all at the same time. And I'll do that whenever this corn is tall enough to come back and plant the other. So I planted almost a half acre of garden in about 3 hours. So if this works, I'm going to be happy. You know, it took a lot more seed, but when you're saving your own seed, it's okay to plant a bunch and then just come back and thin it out later. It saved me a ton of time. Last year I was very methodical about everything, and I mapped it all out and I wrote it all down, and you know, not this year. Speaking of last year, all the stuff that went to seed, I've got volunteer. I got volunteer spinach coming up everywhere. I've got volunteer radishes coming up, which is going to be great. The radishes are over there. I'm going to end up using those for seed pods again. Use them in stir fries and stuff. So yeah, volunteer stuff is super cool. And oh, let's go over here and look at the compost pile real quick. Okay, I put some stuff on the compost pile here. This is just sawdust, and you can see that I broadcast sorghum all over the top of it. As it rains, it'll get covered up, and there's also popcorn in there. There's some popcorn. There's a bean. There's some sweet corn. There's some popcorn. Got all sorts of stuff going on in here. And this is actually cornmeal, ground cornmeal. Actually, that's not. This is all sawdust. This is some cornmeal right here. This is some cornmeal that I use to make wood pellets with. Dump my ashes on here, and obviously the grass is growing up pretty good around it. So this is all of my. This is basically all the compost stuff that I throw out here. So we'll see what happens. I planted all that stuff on top of the compost pile. I'm not worried about turning it or churning it or anything like that. When it gets big enough, then I'll just take the plow and push it all into the garden. Alright. Well, anyway, there it is. I'll come back in a few weeks with an update, and when I'm planting the Three Sisters garden, and see how everything's going. I'm really excited to see how it turns out this year. So stay tuned. I'll let you know. Thanks. Bye.